Something happened in the past and it continued for some time. Guess what I'm talking about? Nothing? Past continuous tense. As the name suggests, past continuous means an action which has happened in past and continued for some time. Let's look at this on a timeline. My action has started somewhere at this point of time. Now this action did not complete at that particular moment itself, but it continued for some time. So let's say on the timeline, if I have started the action here, it must have continued for some time in the past. Right? So an action which happened in the past and continued for some time is termed as past continuous tense. Now this tense will not tell us the starting or the end time of that action. And many a time it is used in combination with a simple past tense also. Now have a look at this example. I was watching a movie when he fell down. Now in this example, I am expressing two actions. One is the action of watching a movie and next is the action of someone falling down. Now here in this sentence, one action is completed while the other one was in continuation. Now if you look at this and if you can spot the verbs, you will find two verbs here. One is was watching and another is fell. Okay, so if you look at this verb, this is in the V2 form and this is in the present participle, that is V1 and ing form. So if I break this sentence into two parts, I can see when he fell down denotes simple past, whereas I was watching a movie denotes past continuous. So in this way we can express this tense in combination with another tense and as about two actions, one completed and the other in continuation. Now let's look at how to form this tense in the various categories of positive, negative and interrogative. Coming to the format of this tense is very easy. We have the subject first, then the auxiliary verbs was and were, and then verb in the ing form, that is the present participle form of the verb. Unlike in simple past, we are here bothered about the subject, which means with singular subject you have was as the auxiliary verb, whereas with plural subject you will have were as the auxiliary verb. Let's start making the tense now, and as we did in present continuous, I is taken separately as a subject. Here also we will consider I as a separate subject but not consider it plural as in other tenses. Now let's do it. I was. With I we will always have was and verb in the ing form. Let's take an example. Let's say jumping. So my sentence becomes I was jumping. Now look at you, we and they. These are plural categories. So with plural, we'll have the auxiliary verb were and ing form of the verb. So let's start. You were jumping, we were jumping and they were jumping. Coming to the next category of the subjects, he, she, it and noun is taken as the singular subject. So these fall under singular category and therefore they will have the auxiliary verb was. So it will be he was jumping, correct? She was jumping, it was jumping, and in noun we can have anybody's name. Let's say Keshav was jumping, Kia was jumping. Now coming to the negative format of the tense, we will add a not between the auxiliary verb and the verb. So let's begin making the sentence. With I, obviously you will use was. So I was not jumping. Let's take the same verb again. Yeah. Then you were not jumping. We were not jumping. They were not jumping. So that's how we are able to make sentences in the negative format for all these subjects. Now coming to the next group of subjects, he, she, it. Let's make a sentence in negative form, like he was not jumping, she was not jumping, it was not jumping, and what names did we take right now? Keshav was not jumping, Kia was not jumping. Next, we come to the interrogative format of this tense, and as discussed in all other tenses, interrogative format will take the auxiliary verb first. For interrogatives also, we'll take the same verb, and let's make sentences like this. For I, we will always use the auxiliary verb was as the question word. So was I jumping? And then a question mark. Was I jumping or not jumping? Anything. Now, you, we, they are plural subjects for which we will take were as the auxiliary verb in the question word. So it will be were you jumping, were we not jumping, were they jumping. Now coming to the singular subjects, we'll take was as the auxiliary verb and the question word. So it will be was he not jumping, was she jumping, was it not jumping, was Kia not jumping, was Keshav jumping. The format is done. Now let's look where and how to use this tense. This tense can be used for actions in progress which was some time back. Like, I was eating dinner at 9 p.m. Now was eating is a continuous tense. The activity of eating dinner was in continuation at 9 p.m. which is in the past time, and it continued for some time. Now because we talk about actions in progress, this continuous tense is also called as progressive tense. So we can also term it like past progressive. Next, what were you doing? What were you doing last night? Come to the next one. To express two or more actions in progress at the same time. Now initially when I compared it with the simple past tense, I had told you that when simple past and past continuous come together in a sentence, there one action is completely finished while the second action is under continuation. We can also use past continuous tense when two actions are happening at the same moment parallelly. For example, while I was driving towards Mumbai, my brother was waiting for me on the highway. Now here two actions are happening side by side in the past. Now, to express such actions, we can always use the word while. Let's look at the next usage. For an undesirable repeated action, for any action which is undesirable or a bad habit and it keeps on repeating, like we saw in present continuous also, the same is in past continuous. She was always pinching. Now was pinching is a past activity in progressive or in continuous form, and always tells us that this action was repeated. But we use this kind of line for undesirable actions generally. Coming to the last usage, wherein past continuous is used for actions which are unfulfilled. Any kind of wish that is unfulfilled, we can express it by using the words hope or plan, etc. For example, I was hoping to reach Chennai by noon. I was hoping, but it was unfulfilled. Unfortunately, I did not reach. Well, I hope today's lesson was fruitful and you could understand the structure of past continuous, when to use this past continuous, and how to use this tense with other tenses also. In my next video, we'll talk about past perfect tense. Till then, take very good care of yourself and goodbye.